This song is called Alice's Restaurant. It's about Alice and the restaurant. Alice's Restaurant is not the name of the restaurant, it's the name of the song. That's why we call the song Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. And walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Now it all started 2 Thanksgivings ago. It's 2 years ago on Thanksgiving when my friends and I went up to visit Alice in the restaurant. But Alice doesn't live in the restaurant. She lives in the church nearby the restaurant in the bell tower with her husband Ray and Fasha the dog. And living in the bell tower like that, they had a lot of room downstairs where the pews used to be. And seeing as how they had all that room, took on all the pews, they decided that they didn't need to take out their garbage for a long time. So we got in there, we saw all the garbage down the church, and we decided it'd be a friendly gesture and take the garbage on down to the city dump. So that's what we did. We put the garbage in the back of a red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction, and headed on towards the city dump. When we got there was a sign and a chain across the fence saying closed on Thanksgiving. We never heard of a dump that was closed on Thanksgiving before, but with tears in our eyes, we turned away and looked for another place to put the garbage. We didn't find one. Until we came to a side road, and off the side of the side road was a 15-foot cliff, and at the bottom of that cliff was another pile of garbage. So we decided one big pile is better than 2 little piles, so instead of bringing that one up, we decided to throw ours down. That's what we did. Got in the back of the red VW microbus, went back to the church, had a Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, didn't get up until the next morning when we got a phone call from Officer Obie. Said, "Kid, found your name on an envelope at the bottom of a half a ton of garbage. Just wanted to know if you had any information about that." And I said, "Yes, sir, Officer Obie, I cannot tell a lie. I put that envelope onto that garbage." Well, after talking to Obie for about 45 minutes on the telephone, we got to the truth of the matter, and he said we'd have to go down and pick up the garbage, and also have to go down and talk to him at the police officer's station. Now, friends, we got in the back of a red VW microbus, took shovels and rakes and implements of destruction, and headed on towards the police officer's station. Now, friends, there was only 1 or 2 possibilities that could have happened here, and the first was Obie could have given us a medal for being so brave and honest on the telephone, but that wasn't very likely, and we didn't expect it. The other was he could have bawled us out and told us never to be seen driving garbage around the vicinity again, which is what we expected. But when we got to the officer's station, there was a third possibility we hadn't even expected. We was both immediately arrested, handcuffed. I said, "Obie, I don't think I could pick up the garbage with these handcuffs on." He said, "Shut up, kid, and get in the back of the patrol car." And that's what we did, got into the back of the patrol car, went to the, quote, scene of the crime, unquote. I want to tell you about the town of Stockbridge, Massachusetts, where this happened here. We got 2 stop signs, 3 police officers, and 1 police car. But when we got to the, quote, scene of the crime, unquote, there were 5 police officers and 3 police cars, being the biggest crime of the last 50 years, and everybody wanted to get in a newspaper story about it. They was using up all kinds of cop equipment they had him hanging around the police officer station. They were taking plaster tire track, footprints, dog-smelling prints, and they took 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one explaining what each one was to be used as evidence against us. And that's not to mention the aerial photography. Got back in the patrol car, went down to police officer station again, and Obie said he's going to put you in the cell. "I need your wallet and your belt." I said, "Obie, I understand you want my wallet, so I don't have any money to spend when I'm in the cell, but what do you want my belt for?" He said, "Kid, we don't want any hangings." I said, "Obie, did you think I was going to hang myself for littering?" My friend's Obie was making sure, so he took the toilet seat out so I couldn't hit myself over the head and drown, and he took the toilet paper roll so I couldn't bend the bars, roll the toilet paper roll out the window, slide down the bars, and have an escape. About 4 or 5 hours later that Alice, remember Alice? nasty words to Obie on the side, bailed us out of jail. We went back to the church, had another Thanksgiving dinner that couldn't be beat, and didn't get up until the next morning when we all had to go to court. We walked in, sat down. Obie walked in with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one. Sat down. Man came in. We said, "All rise." We stood up. Obie stood up with the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows in the back. Judge walked in, sat down. Seeing our dog, and he sat down. We sat down. Obie looked at the seeing eye dog. And then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows on the back, and then looked at the seeing-eyed dog. And then at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with circles and arrows and a paragraph on the back of each one, and began to cry because it was a typical case of American blind justice, and the judge wasn't going to look at the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures. Anyway, we was fined $50 and had to pick up the garbage in the snow, but that's not what I came to talk to you about. I came to talk about the draft. Now, there's a building down New York City called Whitehall Street, where you walk in, you get injected, inspected, infected, detected, and neglected, and selected. I went down to get my physical examination there one day, walked in, sat down. I got good and drunk the night before, so I looked and felt my very best when I went in that morning, because I wanted to look like the all-American kid from New York City. I wanted to feel like the all-American kid from New York City. I wanted to be the all-American kid from New York City, and I walked in, I was hung down, brung down, hung up, and all kinds of things that they was doing to me at the thing there, and walked in, said, "Kid, see the psychiatrist, room 604. Walked in, sat down, said, "Shrink, I want to kill. I mean, I want to kill. I want to kill." And I started jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill, kill." I said, "Eat dead, burnt bodies. Kill, kill." And he started jumping up and down with me, and we was both jumping up and down, yelling, "Kill, kill, kill." And the civil sergeant came in, pinned the medal on me, said, "You're our boy." I didn't feel too good about it. I continued on down the hall, getting more injections, inspections, detections, and they was inspecting every single part of me, and they was leaving no part untouched. And made my way through, and when I finally came to the very last man, he said, "Kid, I only got one question. Have you ever been arrested?" He said, I proceeded to tell him the story of the full orchestration and 5-part harmony. He said, "Stop it right there." He said, "Kid, did you ever go to court?" And I proceeded to tell him the story of the 27 8x10 colored glossy pictures with the circles and arrows in the package one. He said, "Stop it right there." He said, "Kid, I want you to go and sit down on that bench that says Group W. Now, kid." I walked over, and Group W is where they put you if you may not be moral enough to join the army after committing your special crime. I walked in, sat down. There was all kinds of mean, nasty, ugly people sitting there on the bench. Mother stabbers, mother rapers, father rapers, father rapers sitting right there on the bench next to me, and they was mean, nasty, and hairy eyeball and all kind of things. And the biggest, nastiest one, the meanest father raper of them all, walked over, sat down next to me on the bench, said, "Kid, what'd you get?" I said, "I didn't get nothing. I had to pay $50 and pick up the garbage." He said, "What were you arrested for?" And I said, "Littering." And they all moved away from me on the bench there, mean, nasty, hairy eyeballs and all kinds of things, until I said, "And creating a nuisance." And they all came back, shook my hand, we was having a great time, talking about crime, mother staff, father raping, having a good time, playing around on the bench there. The sergeant came in, had a piece of paper in his hand, held up the piece of paper, said, "Kid, this piece of paper's got 37 words, 47 sentences, 58 words. We want to know the arresting officer's name. We want to know the details of the crime, time of the crime, and everything you got to say." He talked for 45 minutes, and nobody understood a word that he said, but we had a good time filling out the forms and playing on the pencils on the bench there. And I pulled out the massacre, 5-part harmony and full orchestration, turned the piece of paper over, and there, on the other side, in the middle of the other side, away from everything else on the other side, in parentheses, capital letters, quotated, read the following word: "Kid, have you rehabilitated yourself?" I put the piece piece of paper down. I walked over to the sergeant and said, "Sergeant, you got a lot of damn gall asking me if I rehabilitated myself. I mean, I'm sitting here on the bench. I'm sitting here on the Group W bench with mother stabbers, father rapers. Did you want to know if I'm more join the army, burn women, kids, houses, and villages after being a litter bug?" I said, "Kid, we don't like your kind. And we're going to send your prints off to Washington. And friends, somewhere in Washington, enshrined in some little folder, is a study in black and white of my fingerprints. And I'm only telling you this because you may know somebody who's in a similar situation. Or you may be in a situation. And if you're in a situation like that, there's only one thing you can do. Walk in the shrink wherever you are, walk in, shrink, sit down and say, you can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. And walk out. And if one person does it, they think he's really crazy and they won't take it. And if two people do it in harmony, they think they're both faggots and they won't take either of them. And if three people do it, three people walk in and sing a bar at Alice's restaurant, they may think it's an organization. And if 50 people a day, can you imagine 50 people a day walking in, singing a bar at Alice's restaurant, and walking out, and my friends, they may think it's a movement. And that's exactly what it is. The Alice's Restaurant Anti-Mass Freedom Movement. And all you got to do to join is to sing it the next time it comes around on the guitar with feeling. Here it comes. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. And walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. That was horrible. You want to end war and stuff, you gotta sing loud. I mean, I've been singing this song now for 25 minutes. I could sing it for another 25 minutes. Do it! I'm not proud or tired. So I'm gonna try one more time, sing it the next time it comes around on the guitar. Full orchestration, 5-bar harmony. Chords come around again. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Excepting Alice, you can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. Said walk right in, around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad track. You can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. At Alice's Restaurant. Thank you. Let's hear it for Rick Lewin. Rick Lewin on the sound, and Sammy over here helping out. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. See you next year.